All right, welcome back to the Reverse Mush podcast. It's Harry Mack here as always. My co-host Ross. Ross, how we doing?
Fucking living, man. Always doing well. We're on here. It's great to talk to the people and talk about how mush we were last night and
Oh yeah.
just give them all the blues on the interviews we got coming up and just have a great time. How you doing, Harry? I feel like you're always asking me. I never really throw it back at you.
Selfish, rude. But
Right?
I appreciate it. No, I'm doing good, man. Fucking grinding away at PT, working a little bit, try to do this stuff. We're brute forcing our way into MMA media, which is tight.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah,
We're
that's
just working our way up the ranks.
oh yeah. Yeah, so last night, if you joined us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Bookie's Basement, we were live for Boozing and Bruising as always. And like Ross said, neither of us had a really good night. we were
Negative.
we were both pretty much. Frankie saved us a little at the end there. I think that was really my only big hit. I got fucked on that Agapova over. I didn't take the two gigantic dogs who both hit.
Yeah, I just did honestly everything like that I normally do. I didn't do last night, and it just backfired. I normally am all over unders, like our good friend Andy likes to do, and last night stayed away from most of them. The ones I touched, I hit on, but except for Frankie, pounded that one. But yeah, we'll go through. We can just recap what the fights we want to talk about, and I'm sure people that watched have some thoughts on a couple of these fights. There was a couple controversial stoppages and a little bit of weird stuff going on in there. But yeah, like you said, didn't take the heavy dogs. Stayed away from most of the unders. Got wrecked. Got
Yeah.
wrecked.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, I'm looking at the card right now. My only big right calls were Sebelsberger and Jordan Wright on the early card, and then Frankie on the main card. And other than that, I was pretty trash.
Nah, yeah, it was. I mean, Semmelsberger.
He looked great.
I said to you when we were FaceTiming, I was like, yeah, it was funny. I was gonna put him for 2 units, but I just took him out of my picks. He looked awesome. I
Yeah, I
think he's
played him.
someone
He looked very
I
good.
think he's someone to legitimately look out for. His striking was awesome, and he has a mullet, so that always takes you somewhere.
Yeah, he'll fit right in at welterweight with all those lunatics.
But then after some was Jordan Wright Villanueva fight.
Oh,
I was on
ugh.
Villanueva like a schmuck, but
Yeah, I
it,
was on Wright at
he
least,
actually
but
he got bet
goodness
down, dude. He
gracious.
got bet down heavy. He was plus 110, plus 105, and then when the fight started, he was minus 106. Um,
Yeah,
I liked
closed it like
him,
a pick.
but that early knee split him the
Oh,
fuck open, man.
right over the eyebrow too. Just like, I mean, the doctor. Once the doctor came out, that one was over.
Yeah,
You
that
know what
was
I mean?
Herzog. Quick pause. We needed to. Dude, his eyelid was flopping over his eye.
Yeah, that was fucking gross, man. His eyelid looked like Overeem's lip after the
Yeah,
Rosenstruck fight.
it was just a flopper.
Yeah, that was absolutely vile. But
But a
that's what
fun
we watched
fight.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a fun fight. I mean, Jordan Wright looked awesome.
he did.
Strange. Seems like a strange cat. I can't get a read on him, even like the way he was talking after the fight. Just an
Yeah.
interesting dude. It seems like.
Hey, 11-0, coming in at 205. I feel like 205 is the top of the division is really interesting, but outside of it, like once you get outside the top, what, 3 or 4, it's pretty fucking weak, especially
I
with
mean, look who's fighting
Jones
for the
now.
title, but I'm down for it. And we can talk
Yeah,
about that real quick. But while we're at it,
I,
Jan
I
Blachowicz
was
at
about to say,
plus money again.
I love
Come
me some
on,
Jan, and they'll
come
never
on.
stop disrespecting Jan, and I'm just gonna keep taking him at plus money and keep
And
cashing.
inside distance, plus
Yeah,
money and inside distance, and he's gonna
Corey
cash
Anderson,
both again.
Corey Anderson and Rockhold were like that was the two easy. Those fights were the two easiest money I've ever made in my life.
Did Jan beat Anderson? I forget. It was round one, right?
I believe it was in the first,
I forget. It was
maybe the
either it
second.
was one or two, but I remember I bet him in the round also. I've just made so much off Jan Blachowicz, and he's awesome to watch.
Yeah, he's got fucking power, man.
He's got the
He's
Polish
got
power.
cinder blocks for hands. Yeah, the poles are built different.
But yeah, Jordan Wright takes out Villanueva. Good fight. This next one hurt a little bit.
Yeah, this hurt. We were Mizuki. We were War Mizuki.
We
Speaking of, while we were on stream last night, I may or may not have gotten the phone number of a certain Ray Longo, head coach of Mizuki. of a certain Ray Longo who might be joining a certain
So
podcast.
stay tuned.
Ooh, you know we're big Sarah Longo shills. We're very openly Sarah Longo shills. So we could shill for our boss. That would be awesome.
So while we're being shills, we'll give Mizuki credit where credit's due. She looked good in the third round. First 2 rounds, she struggled. She won the third, I thought, but she lost the fight. Absolutely, got to definitely give credit to Lemos.
No, she definitely did not win that fight. But I was shocked by a unanimous 30-27.
Yeah, unanimous 30-27 seemed weird. I thought she won the third, but
I thought there was a chance she won that second too.
Well, like we were talking about on stream, once that she got her leg swept and she got taken down, she finished the last 2 minutes on her back. It's hard. It's really hard to
100%.
get that round.
Yeah, no, we've said it before, but I had thought she had maybe done it off, and you'd think at least one judge would see it that way, but no, unanimous 30-27s.
Yeah, so that's how the cookie crumbles. We lost on Mizuki, but we're not.
She'll be back. First Sarah Longo loss of the year. I think they're 24-1 now. In 2020, the year of our Lord.
You know what? It happens. She, like we said, Lemos just looked. She looked so much faster.
Yeah, she was much longer.
The striking was so crisp. It was.
And her takedown defense was great. Mizuki couldn't get her to the ground.
Couldn't get her down. So, and she looked like when they did get to the ground, she looked like she wanted to be there, Lemos. So, I guess you know what? Look out for Lemos because she looked awesome.
Yeah, I think the two of them will definitely be back.
This next fight was a weird one, and like an angry one for me.
Yeah.
Dwight Grant, Daniel Rodriguez. Honestly, I remember Rodriguez from Contender Series, and we're going to talk about Contender Series a little bit after we cover this card because this past week was awesome. But Rodriguez in Contender Series, he landed that. I'm pretty sure it was a flying knee when he looked like he was just gassed the entire time. Slept the dude, got the contract. I didn't think he was going to be someone that could be good. However, my thoughts on this: Dwight Grant came in. I love Dwight Grant. I thought the value at plus 160 was awesome.
I was all over it.
Dropped him early.
Came in and put him down right away.
Dropped him early, and the ground and pound. I think if he
took a lot of damage, but he was constantly bettering his position, or at least trying to. I won't say he wasn't, but he took a lot of damage. I think the issue is,
well, first off, Grant, I said it as it was happening. If he's not finishing this, he's punching himself out. And that's exactly what he did. But the issue was while he was throwing those fucking bombs on the ground, he really wasn't aiming. Like, if he aimed a little there and landed a couple clean, he might have put him out. At the beginning, he was almost out.
I think he only landed 1 or 2 clean out of, 12 shots he threw.
But you know what? I
can't take it away from Rodriguez.
Exactly. That was my point. But I was trashing him at the beginning, thinking he wasn't going to be a thing. But after last night, I think he could be a thing.
Yeah, no, you got to be a warrior to fucking get up and fight through that and then to come back and knock Grant out. And I thought Grant maybe could have gotten a little more leeway on the stoppage especially after the fucking bombs that the ref let him unload on Rodriguez. But at the end of the day, he wasn't. He was out. He wasn't really tracking him. He was out. So I won't.
Rodriguez,
really.
after getting stunned that hard and surviving and getting up and still being fresh, I thought the cardio was going to be such an issue for Rodriguez, and Grant was gassed. As soon as he was getting hit, he was done. He got folded like a lawn chair, and Rodriguez won by stoppage. Great fight, though. Awesome fight.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a fun one. And I realized we forgot to even mention this whole card was only 9 fights because yesterday, fight day, morning of, OSP has to pull out because of a positive COVID test. His manager, I think it was KO Reps, but I don't have it in front of me, so hopefully that's not just blatantly wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's KO Reps. They came out and said that he had previously battled COVID, but that he's been symptom-free for weeks, but that this week during the lead up to the fight, they had both positive and negative tests. So the UFC decided to pull the fight, which is smart. That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, that's what they have to do.
And OSP's team also, I read, they apparently offered to pay out of pocket for another instant instant results tests to try and get him back on the card and prove he could fight, but the promotion wouldn't let him. So that's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing that they're following all their protocols.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, this close to fight day,
Why
you
take the
can't
chance? They
you can't risk
rescheduled it
it.
for what, September 5th, I think. So like a couple of weeks, they'll
Yeah, if he
survive.
doesn't have it, he can fight in 2 weeks, and that'll be that. But
It just hurt because I was
it sucks.
pounding the Alonzo
Menifield,
Menifield drum
yeah,
all week,
yeah,
all week.
that was the angle. That was the angle to take. It was the
Yeah,
move.
it's,
OSP,
we'll
I'm out. I'm out on him.
yeah, we'll break down that fight when we get there, I guess. But yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, listen, it
Menifield
stinks.
9 and it's a gatekeeper fight. It
There's
screams gatekeeper.
there's that thing that's out there. It's called the coronavirus, and it ruins a lot of fun things. And
Yeah, that's a
it
good
ruined a
point.
fun fight.
It's a good point. But you
But
know what? At least we have some fights. We have violence. We have sports. So yeah, think about like 3 months ago what we would have done for just a crumb of violence, just a taste. You know what I would have done for a fight circus card 3 months ago?
yeah, that was a whole nother thing in itself.
It
That
was
fucking
terrible. It
circus
was terrible. They tried to get
on
me
a
kicked off.
porn site.
Yeah, they tried to get me kicked off Twitch by streaming
Porn,
pornography.
porn.
I don't want to stream pornography. It's just a good, clean site. We just like violence.
Fight circus, 2-on-1s with midgets. That was yeah.
It's madness. Dude, did you see what I retweeted earlier today? One of the trophies for one of the fights was literally just a bong. It was a bong. It was so fucking funny. Dude, it was a kebab for the kebab guy in the first fight. It was
Yeah, that guy got a skewer.
what a fucking event. Yeah,
The king of kebabs.
they need to put it not on a Parn website, and
Yeah,
then
no
maybe I'll
porn
watch.
and
Because there were all these
no
Parn pop-ups, and there was all this fucking shit flying around, and the chat was just like the lowest of the low of society, even though I think every sports stream chat you go into online for some reason is like the dregs of humanity.
I mean, these
But
guys were on a porn website.
they were tipping Fight Circus on a
Yeah,
Parn website. What?
$450 for man, $160 for sweep the leg.
Oh man.
But let's I want to get through this card because we didn't even mention this yet, but we have a
Right,
big
we're getting
interview.
sidetracked.
We got a big interview coming up. I want everyone to stay tuned for.
Oh,
You're
yes,
going to
we
love
will.
it. And we don't want to spoil it. I guess we can just say it now. Jordan Leavitt, he's coming up.
The
Monkey King.
Well,
And
chances are you read it in the title of this episode, so it's
That-
probably not a big reveal or a surprise
that's
to
fair.
anybody at this point.
That is fair. No surprises here, but we didn't even mention it yet.
Yeah,
So
it's
let's
true.
finish this card. We'll cover Contender Series real quick. And
Yeah,
then
we'll power through.
We'll get
So-
to Jordan Leavitt for the people.
Oh yeah, the Monkey King. But all right, so we have our second big upset of the night. Shayna Dobson
Yeah,
comes
what
in
a
at
fucking fight.
4-3. I think she was a plus
I think 3 and
600
4.
dog.
I think 3 and 4 to be
Oh
honest.
yeah, no, 3-4. You're right, because she's 4-4 now. You're very
Yeah.
right. And yeah, Agapova coming in at 9-1, the biggest favorite on the card, I believe.
Minus 1435.
1435.
That's
Wow,
what the last
I think
thing
I
I
saw it
looked
at
at.
1200 at some point. That's fucking crazy. but-
Insane. And that's what I'm so mad about because my betting logic, and mostly in female
Yeah,
fights,
it's like, oh,
is
take the
always take the
dog.
dog.
Yeah.
Because you never know in a fight. And I
Yeah.
didn't take it.
Yeah, because we're both dummies. What else is new? But yeah, no, Shayna comes out. I all I had was the over in this fight, which is so fucking classic. 1.5.
Yep,
Plus
that's all I
125.
played.
That was calling my name. A woman's flyweight fight. I can get over 1.5 at plus money. And it wasn't even the person who was supposed to get the big fucking finish who got the finish.
Dude, we were on the same page on it. I mean,
Yeah.
that was such a reverse brain over. You just can't resist a 1.5 in a female fight when they're normally 2.5 at plus 170 for the under.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly.
like, how can you stay away from that?
Yeah, I mean women's flyweight fights. I think this is anecdotal off the top of my head. I don't have the data in front of me at this point, but I believe the last time I saw it, it was something like 77% of women's flyweight fights go the distance. They don't really generally have the power to knock each other out.
Yeah,
so
that sounds like it's probably right.
Yeah, if there are finishes, most of the time it's by sub, but it wasn't by sub this time.
Nope.
Shayna Dobson knocks Agapova down in the second round, about a minute in, and just unleashes some grounded pound, starts opening up with it. Ref gave Agapova every chance, but she was
Yeah,
just
she was.
It was a fair stoppage.
She was like giving up. I mean, And then at the one point, right before he stopped it, it was a clean shot, and it almost looked like she flattened for a second.
Yeah, it was another one that at the time I was mad about, but watching it back, I was like, no, I'm just mad because I lost. Like, I
Yeah.
can't really be upset about
No
that.
one likes losing. That's the worst. But I can't believe that happened. She closed at a
Yeah, it was
plus
wild.
800 underdog. And I said it. She looks like she has the cyborg build. She looks like she is built out of fucking.
Is that a polite way of saying what I think you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly a polite way of saying that she looks like a fucking dude.
Yeah,
And,
she's got a lot of testosterone. High T.
Wanderlei Silva in a dress, but like not cyborg. Totally built, totally shredded, and she looked awesome. Even in the first round, she did not look like a plus 800 underdog.
No, definitely not. Takedown
She's
G
defending. She took her down to start the fight. She took down Agapova.
She had some moments. Definitely.
She defended that whatever arm bars and whatever arm triangle she was trying to set up. Kimura's, I think she went for at one point, but it was
no fluke. It was no fluke stoppage for certain.
Nah, she looked awesome. Yeah. And to be that heavy of an underdog, to come in and do that, good for her.
Yeah, I mean, dude, hey, hopefully, like, I hope they're both legit, because, like, Agapova is supposed to be this fucking killer, and, like,
yeah, it doesn't appear like she is.
More talent,
when you come in that big of a favorite, you better fucking put on a show.
Yeah, but I think she's really young still, isn't she?
She might be, but
dude, she's only 23, dude. She's younger than we are.
But dude, we talk about this
born
all the
in
time.
97.
But dude, we talk about this all the time with these prospects that come up as these heavy favorites, and they just go away. Yeah. Where the fuck is Johnny Walker?
I think he's fighting in a couple of months, actually. Didn't he just say that he's I think he actually just said he's moving up to heavyweight also.
He stinks.
He does kind of stink. I did watch him get his brain turned off at Masvidal versus Diaz. But yeah, Agapova is a year younger than we are, which is wild.
Nah, she definitely has a chance to be something awesome. And every fight before this one, she looked great. But
yeah, sometimes you need to just get humbled a little bit.
But to come in as that big of a favorite, like,
no, for sure.
I don't know. I'll never bet her.
Yeah, I'll probably. That's one where I'm gonna need it proved to me.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever go near her.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. But all right, speaking of losing and us making terrible decisions, Austin Hubbard, Joe Solecki.
Yeah.
Was not on the right side of this one.
I'm just going to pretend I never said what I said and just stick with my tweet. I was on Solecki.
After Hubbard, like, literally forced Rokshov to retire in his last fight, and I know Max is also a little green and very young, but, you know, I think he's a legit prospect. I thought Hubbard would be able to kind of fight behind his jab here. He had a little bit of length, especially when he flares out those shoulders, adds a little extra. But, yeah, that clearly was not the case. Solecki took his back like that,
within
no
15, 20 seconds,
and then to get standing RNC, dude, like, you got to try something. You know what I mean? Like, if you're getting rear naked standing up, you have to try something. Try and slam him down. Try and do something.
Dude,
how could you just?
He showed nothing. To be honest,
that was just bad. You never want to call a guy's performance like lifeless or just bad, but it wasn't good.
But his back got taken, within 20 seconds when Solecki was riding him? He was legitimately riding him like
Aljo
a horse.
Sandhagen,
until he got – yeah, well, but that Aljo's just way more technical, and he got it down and finished shit. But he just rode him for 2 minutes until he got the angle, got the choke in, and that was it. Like,
yep, no resistance.
It was –
no technique.
I got to be honest.
Nothing for it.
Solecki, it was close to a pick'em on the line, -115 for Solecki, -105 for Hubbard. Solecki was deserving, should have been a -180 favorite. Like,
probably.
And I kind of thought that beforehand, but I went Hubbard just because I thought I was total mush, and I was like, I'm just done going with my opinion.
You tried to fade your own brain, and you lost.
Exactly.
That's what always happens.
Yeah.
That's the inevitable outcome if you try and fade yourself.
Like, I tweeted Solecki, and then I said on stream, forget my tweet. I'm switching to Hubbard, and yeah.
So you're wearing it on the chin, though. I respect that. Because, yeah, you could have just tried to be a real weasel.
Now, I'm due for, I'm pretty sure this next weekend, I think I see some good angles. I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna stop just picking every fight, and I'm just gonna get hot. So
Yeah, but
stay
like we'll
tuned.
still pick every fight on stream.
Yeah, no,
Obviously.
I'm gonna pick every fight. I'm just gonna start
For the
winning.
people, for the people. But yeah, we'll just win. We'll just
Yeah,
simply win instead of lose. It's very simple,
that's
actually.
where I'm at.
All right, next fight, light heavyweights. Marcin, I didn't know if I was pronouncing this wrong all night. Is it
I think you
Prachnio or
were.
Prachnio?
I think it's.
Or am I wrong on both of those?
I
Prachnio?
think it's Prochnio.
Prachnio.
I
Marcin Prachnio.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay, Marcin Prachnio, Mike Rodriguez. Pretty quick.
Another
Pretty.
fight that I don't even want to talk. Whatever, dude. He got worked.
Yeah, I think I had the under here at least, but yeah, I was on Pacino. Did it Pacino? Pacino? I was on Marcin.
Prochnio, whatever.
Didn't go well. He was the dog plus 185. I think he closed at plus
Closed at
190.
190. Yeah.
Yeah, 190. And yeah, he got knocked the fuck out in the first round, about 2 minutes in. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do?
It
The
was
dogs
just
weren't. The dogs didn't bark last night.
It was another. What they did on the main card, the biggest dog
True.
of
Yeah.
the
What
main
am I
card,
saying? We're just idiots.
or no, besides Dodson. But yeah, it was another fight that it was like Rodriguez just looked awesome, just dominated him and put him out early. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, there wasn't much. Again, not much resistance.
Yeah, it was another one where just outmatched. And that's what happens on these shitty cards. There's a lot of times where the lines are even weird. Like, a lot of these lines didn't make much sense to me, and I took the wrong side of the not making sense to me. Like, I didn't understand why Hubbard was that close, and that's why I switched to him. And
right.
like,
So you got in your own head.
yeah, and it was the same
Outsmarted
thing.
yourself.
It was even the same thing with this fight. Like, I was like, I don't understand why he's this big of a dog, but he should have been. Like, I was just
clearly.
wrong on all my reads on the lines, to be honest.
I'm with you because we had a lot of the same reads. But all right, main event. This was an awesome fucking fight.
It really was.
It was awesome, dude. Just
bantamweight for 5 rounds. Come on.
Yeah, Frankie Edgar, first fight at bantamweight, moving down to 135. I think I saw now he is the only guy to ever win a performance of the night in 3 separate weight divisions.
Yeah,
which is fucking crazy. You know what else is crazy to me? That Frankie Edgar and Rumble Johnson used to fight 20 pounds apart.
That doesn't make any sense.
You look at those two guys.
That hurts the brain.
That makes no sense
legitimately
at all.
hurts the brain.
Right? You just think about that, and it's just like, nope, I don't believe you, but it's true. I assure you, it's true. But yeah, so this was just a 5-round war. I think we all thought, I think a lot of people thought this one was going under and somebody was going to sleep. Although Frankie never been finished by sub. Pedro's a tough dude also. And I mean, yeah, that was what the fight showed. It basically, the way I watched this fight was I thought Frankie was outlanding him. He was piecing him up with those little combos, those 1, 2, 3 combos. And yeah, a lot of the times he'd throw the hooks, he'd throw the little uppercut in there, go jab, straight uppercut. And he was piecing them up with these little inside combos, head work, body work. But Pedro was definitely landing bigger. And Pedro had a couple of timely takedowns. So I was a little concerned going to the scorecards. I had it 29-28. Or no, 29-28. Fucking my brain's broken.
49-48.
Yeah, I had it 3-2 Frankie. Frankie. That's too much of a
I think it's 49-48.
But yeah, that sounds right.
So my thing with this fight was, and like you said with the under, so I think the under, the reason people loved it was because everyone thought Frankie would get knocked out. I love the under. I thought somehow.
It's a scary spot cutting down to 135 for the first time this late in your career.
I just rode with the crowd with the under. I thought it was a good bet, 3.5. I did not think it was going the distance, but I thought Frankie looked awesome. The under, I was on heavy, but I liked Frankie. I was
luckily all over Frankie. I didn't touch the under, thankfully.
I
kind of salvaged a shitty night for me, but not totally.
I just really wanted to see Frankie win more so than anything.
Yeah, it's awesome to see him win, dude. He deserved it. And like I think we were talking about this on stream. Yeah, but where do you go next for Frankie?
Well, and there's
Because he's
people.
gonna get that top 5 ranking in
Well,
bantamweight.
well, I think the most fun thing would be Frankie Dom Cruz.
Yeah, I saw that. That would be fun.
I think
I said I would like to see him versus the winner of Marlon Sandhagen, but I guess that's kind of that guy is probably in line for a title shot theoretically.
well, no, because it's
It
Marlon
depends what
Sand.
happens.
Well, I guess it depends what Garbrandt does. If he
Right. Well, no,
beats Figgy,
yeah, but I think it sounds like he's planning to stay at
that's
Fly.
true.
So
Yeah. So yeah, no, the winner of Marlon Sandhagen would have to get the title
you
shot.
would you would
No,
assume
so it would
that
be the
that
loser.
person.
It would be the loser that fights
Yeah,
Frankie.
that's probably true. You're probably right. Because
But
yeah, if
either
I'm
way,
just thinking
either
logistically,
way,
if I'm the winner of that fight, why do I take Frankie?
no, but either way, I mean, well, Dom Cruz would be a fun matchup if he wants to try to get back in there soon.
That's another
But
one of those like big main event of 2011 vibes, though.
right, no, it is, and it has no like title implications, but
It'll probably sell though.
what
Their
it does is
names,
it sells. That's
exactly.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's eyes at the end of the day. We know that that's all they really care about. It'll put asses in the
But
seats.
like we said, good for Frankie. He's been on a skid, and we were all pulling for him. Plus
Yeah,
220 underdog. Munoz, he looked good too. And we said
he did.
you were saying earlier you thought you had it 29 or
I know.
49,
I
48, whatever
broke
the
your
math
brain now
is.
too.
Yeah, no, you did. But
Not a math guy.
I personally thought Frankie did enough to win the fight. I thought the judges were going to give it to Munoz,
I was kind of in the same boat.
but they didn't.
I was
And
shocked. It
split
was
decision win
unanimous.
for no
No,
split. It was
split. Yeah,
split.
it was split. You're right. You're right. You are right. But yeah, no. I mean, hey, I'm very happy he got the dub. It's great to see Frankie back in the win column. It's been a minute. It's been a
No,
minute.
it really has.
What has it been? Like 2.5 years? Maybe.
I mean, I'll pull it up real quick. I can't tell you the last time Frankie Akers won a fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, man, and it just feels like every fight that I can think of recently is just him losing.
He lost his last fight, knocked out, and then he 2 fights ago against Korean Zombie got knocked out.
Yep. Oh man, yeah, Zombie. That was bad. But
So
like
it was
we all knew that
Holloway,
was gonna happen.
Zombie. It was Zombie, then Holloway. So he won against Cub in 2018
Yeah, because he lost to Ortega
in a
also.
decision. Yeah, the fight before that was Ortega. He lost in the first round.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Good
So
for
he
him.
won one fight in the last 3 years.
Good for Frankie, man. He needed it.
Exactly.
And hopefully he finds a home at Bantam, man. Hopefully later in his career, that's what's good for him. We've heard guys say, hey, James told us it's easier for him to cut down to 135 than 145. We heard Aldo say it's easier for him to cut from 135 to 45.
If
So
that's
maybe
what's
that's
more
what it is.
natural, if that's what's more natural, then
Yeah,
that's
he's
going to
not a
benefit
big
him.
dude. I think Frankie's only 5'8",
He's
right?
5'6",
5'6"?
5'6". Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 5'8". That'd be tough if you're 135. I feel like. Well, that's like Holloway.
Yeah, facts. Well, Holloway fights
Holloway's one. Yeah,
better.
yeah. But I
But
think Holloway's 5'8".
yeah, but he's also so much like longer. He's just got that like lean, long
Nah,
frame.
Frankie's a small dude though. He's my
Yeah.
dad's height.
Compact.
But yeah, I mean that's the card. It was a good fight. I mean, good. That main fight was an awesome fight, but the card overall, honestly, for a shitty card, it delivered. A lot of unders for our boy Andy.
Yeah, a lot of finishes.
We talked about Contender Series a tiny bit. I'm down to just go over this last week a little bit, just because there was some cool stuff to talk about.
Definitely.
And
We botched so hard.
And then we can kick it over to Jordan.
For certain. But we could not have botched harder on this Contender Series card.
Yeah, we knew that the brother Philly parlay basically, but nothing with Philly, but just brother. And we didn't take either brother.
Yeah, there were two brothers fighting. I had it in my head beforehand that I wanted to parlay them, and then right before the fight started, Ross and I we were on Zoom talking about something, and Ross texted me something. He goes, "Yo, you want to like throw this in for Contender Series, whatever?" I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. You know, I'll just ride it. I just won't even bother to fact check or look or anything." So I like basically like a computer just got the information and spit it right back out into the website. I didn't process a single thing. And then about 10 minutes later, I was looking at it and I was like, wait a minute, the brothers, no, we didn't.
I will say
they were both dogs and they both won. The Kashi brothers both won contracts too.
Both Kashi brothers with awesome fights. One was a plus 260 underdog. One was a plus 140.
Yeah, they
Both of
both
them
had
are in
great
UFC contracts,
finishes.
which is just awesome to go in there and both of them. But I will say, when we were talking about it, right when you realized, I said, Harry, should we just take both of them inside the distance? And you said, no, we're going down a slippery slope. We're gonna wind up losing everything.
Yeah, I
So,
did say that. Because the way it usually works for us, if we try and get on the other side after we've made up our minds, is now we're just gonna lose twice somehow.
no, we just done fucked up.
Yeah, we made a mistake.
But Contender Series, it's been awesome. I would suggest everyone tuning into it, just because you never know who the next big thing
Definitely,
to come
man.
through is.
There have been a
And
lot
one
of
thing,
guys on Contender Series fighting on
well,
UFC cards lately. O'Malley,
one
Heinisch.
big name on the Contender Series that just fought, that just got his UFC contract. We got an interview for the people for.
Yes, we do.
Why don't you tell him about it, Harry?
Absolutely. So we got our pal, the Monkey King, Jordan Leavitt. I want to just pull his Instagram up and give that a plug. And I just typed Instagram into Instagram, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, Mush
Give
brain on Sundays is a thing.
big time a thing. I texted Ross at like 11 o'clock this morning. I was like, yo, we should try and record it earlier. So we're like not doing it when our brains are mush at the end of the day. It's 7:30.
Yeah, but I went to a brewery.
It happens
And
though. It happens. What are you gonna do? But these
yeah.
at Monkey King _ UFC, Jordan Leavitt. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever else he's at. And we'll kick it over to Jordan now. But definitely a big thank you to him for hanging out with us. Look for him to be making his UFC debut anytime between the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months. But yeah, that being
Let's
said,
kick it over.
enjoy, everybody. All right, welcome back to the Reverse Mush podcast. Harry Mack here as always with my co-host Ross Bullitt. We're joined by a special guest this week. Again, that's 2 in a row for you at home. Jordan Leavitt, the Monkey King, 7-0 as a professional, just had a big win on the Contender Series, earned himself a UFC contract. Jordan, how you doing, my man? Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing well. Life's definitely been the best month of my life. 2020 has been a great year for me.
Love to hear that.
No complaints.
That's what we love to hear. We obviously, congratulations first and foremost here. We'll get to that eventually, but just so impressive, and just awesome. I could see why maybe this year hasn't been great for most people, but hey, you're doing what you do and you're doing what you love to do, and you earned yourself a contract. So that's what it's all about.
A big Contender Series win, and you spilled the beans that you're about to be a father too. So congratulations, man! Big year for
Thank you very much. Yes, very big year, very stressful year until 2.5 weeks ago. So yeah, it's been
long as things are on the up and up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love to hear it though. So yeah, we're doing some research. First and foremost, we had to let you know that you're a part of birthday week here. So I'm June 3rd. Ross is May 28th.
31st.
31st. That's bad co-hosting on my part.
Yeah, that's trash.
So you're a part of birthday week. So we'll certainly be celebrating that with you.
Awesome.
You're only a year older than us and only slightly more accomplished. So
yeah,
we have to make you feel just a little bit bad about that.
That hurts. That hurts that you're only a year older and I'm sitting in a basement. But hey, we love to see it.
Man, it's fine. 3 weeks ago, I was still on food stamps and everything. So, I mean, you guys are doing better than me until 14 days ago. So
wow,
that's wild, man. That's something. But I guess that's kind of what we might as well just jump right into the Contender Series here. We can get to kind of leading up to that afterwards. But it must be, I imagine the Contender Series is for a lot of you guys who fight there. It's a life-changing event. Of course, I can't imagine the amount of pressure that you feel going into that. So from you made a 17-day turnaround from LFA to the Contender Series. So what is it like to get that call?
It was surprising. I was just fishing for crawfish with my family, and I had maybe 3 or 4 boxes of ice creams, like ice cream sandwiches and orange creamsicles. I was really just being fat happy, in a prick, and
hey, you were celebrating a big win.
Yeah, I was celebrating. I'm okay, cool. Rent's paid for the next 3 months. That's good. And then my agent calls, like, what you up to? And I'm like, fishing.
Eating ice cream sandwiches.
I'm like, I'm just, chilling. He's like, you want to fight in 10 days? I'm like, probably not. And he's like, but what if I told you it's for a Contender Series? And I was like, okay, I guess we could play. Like, I'm down. So then I drove back early the next day, cut the vacation a little short. But it was actually kind of nice. It was such a short notice. It was super short notice. I didn't have time to get anxious or nervous. This was actually the least nervous I've been for any of my fights. So
Interesting. Cool. No time to overthink it, I guess.
No
And
time at all.
just to let you know here, I do work for an ice cream company. So if you ever need some ice cream sandwiches again, just hit up your boy.
You got the link now.
You got the ice cream plug. But no, that was going to be my question for you. But 10 days notice, I mean, obviously everyone adjusts differently to that. Was that something where you were, and like you said, you were fishing and eating ice cream? Did you have to cut a lot of weight, or were you still, I mean, basically at peak training just from before your most recent fight?
I felt like I was still in shape because I'd only been on vacation for 4 days.
Right.
But my weight was about 22 pounds away, which is generally where I kind of float around at. So I was getting a little fat in those 4 days, but not too fat. But definitely the second weight cut in 20 days was a little rough. But when it's for that big of an opportunity, it's hard to complain about it. But It was nice. I knew I was in shape. I just had a nice fast-paced fight with a really talented kid, and then I got to fight another talented person. It was nice.
I got to be honest, you came in there, you couldn't tell if you were nervous. Even just the way you were carrying yourself, you looked ready, and you came in and you just dominated. You got that arm triangle, and it was the craziest part was, even I was rewatching it today again, and on the broadcast you had no idea that it was in deep, and then all of a sudden he's out. So, like, I guess if you want to talk about that a little, what you saw there and how you thought you could grab that and finish it.
Well, I was thinking about his last loss in 2017 and how he got arm triangled. And I know I have I have PTSD about submissions I've been caught in before. So I was like really focusing on my arm triangles the week before the fight. I'm like, okay, because if he gets here, he's in a panic. I'm going to get into his head if I keep attacking these moves. But it actually came a lot easier than I thought. I kind of slowly creep into it. And I feel like since I was in half guard, he didn't think it was a threat. But I could finish that from full guard on some people. I took a person out last night in full guard with my arm triangle. People see the dad bod and like the skinny arms, and they like, oh, he has no squeeze. But like, my squeeze is crazy.
You could tell.
I mean, if you watch it, it didn't even look like he fought it off that hard. Like you said, you just kind of slowly sunk it in, and I guess like you said, he didn't really feel the threat was there or whatever it was, but he seemed content to just let you. And
he was out quick.
At this level, if that's what's gonna happen, that's how you're gonna respond.
Yeah, he like kind of tried to twist out for a second, but then he started gurgling, and then I really like put some oomph into it, So once I heard that gurgle, I knew I'm like, well, I don't even have to really advance my position. He's already gurgling.
You smell blood in the water.
Yeah, just squeezed it. I actually planned on submitting him. I'm like, I'll probably submit him second or third round, let him get tired. But sometimes when you're holding people against the cage, you could tell when they're not fighting as hard as they were a few minutes prior. So I tried to go for the finish early. It was nice.
Yeah, it was. Trust me, everyone watching enjoyed it, man. It was a pleasure to watch. Impressive.
Yeah, love that. So going off submissions there, so you have pro wins by arm triangle, heel hook, and anaconda, and amateur wins by armbar and kimura. So what would you say is the most okay. We got something.
And a Peruvian necktie, my first pro fight.
Really? See, when I looked that fight up, all I could find anywhere was win. I couldn't find anything about the method of that fight. It's just lost in the ether. Would love to see a Peruvian necktie.
Yeah,
what to you was the most satisfying to land? I have a feeling after that I know what the answer is. Yeah.
So you'd think the Peruvian necktie, but when I got it, I kind of just saw 15 seconds left and jumped for it. And even when it was happening, I saw his hand get ready to tap. I'm like, there's no way I'm tapping a brown belt in a Peruvian. This is a fake move. But then he did tap, so that was my first pro win. It's really hard to top that. But my most satisfying win was probably submission was probably my anaconda choke, because I do that choke more than any other choke in the gym, and I never got it. So in LFA where I got the anaconda choke, it felt pretty cool. You know,
That's
I have
awesome,
two arm
yeah.
triangles. Two arm triangles. It's not cool the second time. So
Everything is better the first time.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm sure it feels awesome to just take something that you drill and you work on, you put countless hours into perfecting, but you just, the opportunity hasn't presented itself yet. And yeah, to finally take that one must feel real good.
Yeah.
So obviously, your background is in jiu-jitsu, but I had a question. We had a question from a friend of the program, Mr. Sexual Jumanji at Most Crucified on Twitter. He wanted to know he asked this actually before my last interview. We unfortunately couldn't get to it, but I promised him we'd get to it today. If as a mixed martial artist, if there was one move or one sort of discipline or technique that you could master across any discipline of fighting, what would it be?
Ooh, one technique.
Yeah, so you got a perfect hook, a perfect overhand, a perfect single leg, a perfect guillotine,
Perfect spinning back fist, man.
perfect
Wow,
spinning
I love
back
that.
fist. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
That's a flashy move. That was like the first move I fell in love with in martial arts. I used to spam that like no other. Like if I could get a perfect one of those, get a few knockouts, I'd have it made.
Yeah, I feel like there are a few things in MMA that are prettier to watch than just like the perfect spinning back fist KO. Dariush had the other. What was that? A couple weeks ago, Beneil Dariush had
was that a
the.
spinning elbow or a back fist?
It was. I think it landed more of the forearm, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was still just unreal to watch.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, whether it lands with the elbow or the fist, whatever it is, those are. I feel like we're all suckers for spinning shit at the end of the day.
I guess piggybacking off that, when you're going in there, I mean, do you care, or do you have a preference? Would you rather go in there and submit someone, or would you rather knock them out cold? Is there one that you prefer over the other?
Okay, so you'd watch my fights and you'd think, oh, this guy just wants to wrestle, But everyone I fought, except for my last fight, because I was sticking to what I was best at, and I wanted to prove that I could submit the really talented grappler.
Nothing wrong with that.
Everyone sprints at me. Like, I've never had, you think of strikers that are to move away from me, trying to time it. Everyone just sprints right at me. Like, I've never had to close the distance myself or anything. Like, I want to throw my hand so bad.
Right.
But no one's tried to really hit me with a punch yet or anything. So it's been kind of like I put all these hours, I do all this mitt work, and people are like, "Oh, he's just lazy Ben Askren." I'm like, no, I do a lot of different things. And one day, hopefully, someone will sprawl or someone will let me do other things.
And it also looks like your cardio is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, just from watching, I know it was a somewhat of a short fight, and even in that Contender Series fight, but you look like you could have gone 8 rounds. There was no difference from the beginning of the round to the end of the round. Is that something you really hone in on? Is your cardio?
I saw you're a barefoot runner in your free time.
I am, and I run a half marathon about every week until COVID, and then I kind of messed up with running. But my brother-in-law, he's an ultra runner, so he kind of got me back into running last year. So I've never done weights before, but I've always been I've loved bleachers. I love running. I just love endurance things. So when I fight, especially now that I'm at 55, not 45, I don't feel tired at all. And I just kind of feel like, when I was at 45, I was stronger than everybody. But at 55, even though I'm not the strongest, you're not stronger than me for 15 minutes. So I definitely
you have the gas tank. That's all it takes.
I love that. I don't think I've ran a half marathon in my 24 years of living combined. So, hey, good for you. I skated a lot. I was a skating kind of guy. Played a lot of hockey, but no running for this guy. I did track for 2 days in 7th grade. They told me to run up a hill, and I quit.
I did track for 1 year just because I needed a PE waiver, and I quit wrestling, so I was forced to do whatever sport I could do. I used to
There
hate
you
running
go.
until a year ago.
Hey, well, I'm sure I'm sure, like you said, it doesn't hurt the cardio game, doesn't hurt the MMA game, so why not? I wanted to say, by the way, I love the look you got going. You picked your legs up for a second there. Are you rocking a onesie right now?
Yeah,
Oh,
Fuck
like,
yeah. Fuck yeah.
absolutely.
I love that.
little gray and green tiger. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, got the
onesie.
tiger stripes. I
Love it.
love it. Nice and
Absolutely.
comfortable.
I
Yeah, I don't know
have
if I
maybe a
own
dozen
anything
of
that
these.
comfortable.
I have a dozen of these things, man. Like I just gotta get that pajama sponsorship from
was
fighting. Like
gonna
everyone,
say that's what you should go for, the onesie sponsorship.
I'm gonna try. Like Derek Lewis got, Popeyes for life. That's all good. If I get some nice, silk pajamas, I'll be
Well,
like
there you
Conor
go.
McGregor, but
I'm
leisure.
trying to think. I don't know any pajama companies offhand.
Me either. So I gotta figure it out.
Maybe you got
Maybe
to
we just
start
start
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. See, now we're
I
thinking.
think we just created a genius idea here.
Yeah, Jordan Levitt brand onesies. The Monkey King. There you go.
Yeah, the Monkey King. So where did that come from?
um. Well, I got the nickname bit my lip. Sorry. I got the name. I got the name several times throughout my life. Like when I was in middle school, they called me, and there may have been a racial connotation in middle school. I went to an all-white private school. But they were very kind. Never experienced racism, but people make But in high school, one time I wrestled this kid and I pinned him, and I kind of walked off the mat on my knuckles, like as a joke. And they're like, "You're the Monkey King. That's it. That's your nickname." And then that was my nickname.
It's stuck. Hey, I love it.
It's way better than some of the other nicknames that are floating around professional fighting. There are some bad ones out there.
Yeah.
That's a bad one.
There are some bad ones out there. Not to throw any stones. I love Caitlin Chikagian, but the blonde fighter is simply the worst nickname in the history of professional.
It's a tough angle to take.
It's tough. Somebody in her PR team has to sit down and be like, we just have to. We simply have to be able to do better than this.
Got to pivot away from that name.
Yeah, exactly. So I was doing some more research, like we were saying. Saw you're a runner. So saw something else in your free time. Do you really read 100 books a year?
I only got like 70 last year.
I only got 70 last year. Oh.
But yeah, 2 years ago I got 100 in. The year before that I got 56. So I'm trying to get 70 for at least this year. I'll get back to 100 next year. But all these fight camps,
Hey, I can't imagine you have that much spare time to dedicate to reading at a certain point.
Well, when you run, like I drive to the gym, I listen to an audiobook. When I'm here, laying on my stow right, I'm reading like a Stephen King book. When I am not doing anything, like my nose is in a book. So
Hey,
nothing wrong with that.
It's honestly, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not a big reader. I probably should be, but I respect the shit out of it.
Yeah, I've been trying to read more books. Definitely did not read that many in the past year. But I saw you. So you want to be an attorney after fighting? Is that still true?
That's the sellout thing. So I've recently.
That's Plan B.
Yeah. So I could take the LSAT. My practice LSATs are like 88th percentile, so I usually do pretty good. But probably if I don't get that those big money fights in MMA, I'm gonna retire. Maybe probably be a teacher, teach high school history or gov. Those are the subjects I really care about. My degree is gonna be in political science if COVID doesn't cancel my college. But yeah, I like to work with children. Even when I wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to do family law, so I can work with custody battles and divorces and help good things happen in that world. But I've been thinking about it this past year, and I'm like, I just want the children what I want to work with, and teachers change kids' lives all the time. So I'd rather, if I'm not going to fight, I may as well do what I want.
Yeah. I got you, man. No, that's
Absolutely.
awesome. I was actually having a conversation with somebody earlier today about teaching, but I've always said that I think it takes if somebody is a teacher, I will generally give them any benefit of the doubt on them being a good human being, because I think it just takes an amount of patience that I certainly do not possess.
Nah.
You need to be generally altruistic and just a good human being to want to be a teacher, I feel like. So I definitely respect that.
And it's honestly, I feel like for most people that are tuning into this, you don't come off as a guy that likes to go into an octagon and just beat the shit out of someone. which is different, and it's awesome, and it makes you even more of a unique fighter that you're not like every other guy on the card, which is something that you should pride yourself on.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
I think I had pretty bad imposter syndrome. Maybe until my LFA fight, I'm like, am I really a fighter? Like, I don't really belong. I've always like until I think 2 fights ago, I was like, maybe I just got really lucky. I'm like, I'm not the best, but these guys just have bad game plans, and maybe they weren't that good. And then the LFA fight happened. I'm looking at his record. He was like 8-0 as an amateur, 3-0 as a pro. And I'm like, holy crap, this guy is good. He's going to expose me. This is it. And then I beat him, and I strangled him, and I'm like, dang, I'm actually good at this. And then the UFC called, and like, I finally got that fighter's identity. I actually felt like I was a fighter for the first time when they called. So, yeah, I've never felt like I belonged until very recently.
Well, it seems like the more and more you get in there and the more and more you win, that's just going to keep building. And hopefully it blossoms into a title shot for you in the future.
Definitely. But yeah, that's awesome, man. And I mean, yeah, at a certain point, like you said, when you're 7-0 with five of those wins coming by submission, by finish, the evidence starts to stack up towards you might be pretty good at this at a certain point. At a certain point, it's hard to deny the evidence. You can't get lucky that many times.
Right?
Exactly. We've all seen freak fights and weird things happen and guys get caught and whatever. But yeah, at a certain point, you put it together, time in, time out, you always show up. And it feels like it's more on you than on chance.
And I know this is like totally backtracking here just because we kind of already covered your fighting, but how did you get into it? What started it for you? The wrestling or?
Yeah, so, I actually got it when I ran away from wrestling. My freshman year, I was in public school for the first time since I was like a kid. So big culture shock from a Christian private school. And, high school was scary. I joined the wrestling team because I thought that was like pro wrestling. I'm like, oh, I'm going to hit people with chairs, I'm going to perform. And it wasn't that. Wrestling was super, super hard. I was like 90-something pounds. So then I quit. I'm done with this crap. So I stopped going to practice. But the Saturday that I quit, I turned on TV and like Spike TV was on. It was the Ultimate Fighter season 10, like Rampage versus Rashad. And I'm like, this is really
awesome
cool.
Season.
Right?
That'll rip you in.
And I was watching the fights, and I'm like, oh, who the hell is this Kimbo Slice guy? And who's this? And what is it? Like, oh, this is kind of like wrestling. And I'm like, oh, they just got to do this. I did wrestling for 3 weeks. I knew what I was talking about. So, I started watching this, and I'm like, I want to do this, whatever the sport. I want to fight UFC. So then I told my mom I wanted a punching bag for Christmas, and my stepfather, was a super big fan of MMA, and I guess he'd tried to, expose me to it earlier, but I didn't. I was like, no, little kid, like, no, that doesn't sound cool. It's not Kung Fu. I don't want it. And then, it's kind of my mom signed me up for a gym membership in like 2010, and I really liked it. And I kept going, and then I went back to wrestling, took a few years off of jiu-jitsu, and then I came back when I graduated. And it's been going pretty well since then.
I would say so. Yeah, right.
No, that's interesting, though. It's always interesting to hear how guys kind of get into fighting. And, I was looking at your time on the regional circuit, and I wanted to kind of ask, are there any glaring differences between, like, the East Coast regional circuit and the West Coast regional circuit? Because, like, I don't know, so something that just stood out to me was that you seem to bounce around a little bit in the beginning of your career. And so was that kind of by design or just by happenstance or,
I couldn't find any fights near home. Because when you train at Syndicate and whenever people visit, they either go to Couture's or Syndicate. And, I train with these very high-level fighters, and I do very well. But then they'd say, hey, this kid Jordan's really talented. So then I wouldn't get to fight, the other up-and-coming prospects. Like, no, we're not fighting Jordan. That's a bad fight. So I couldn't find fights. So then I'd have to go to Indian reservations, and I have stories about that. That was nonsense. Or, I have to go to...
Feel free to share. We're all ears.
Okay, so it's maybe my 4th pro fight. I'm going to this card. and I'm not going to say the promotion's name on it, but you guys can look it up. But we go there, and the octagon's inside this high school gym on an Indian reservation, and we walk in there, and there's like 20 fights lined up. So there's 40 fighters on this card, and we're all sitting like in the bleachers, and they're like, okay, we're all going to go into the weight room, and we're going to warm up. So you're warming up like within 5 feet of your opponent and everything. And my opponent hadn't showed up yet. So they did roll call. My opponent wasn't there. So, everyone starts warming up, stretching, hitting pads. And then the fight card starts off with a wedding. One of the girl fighters, one of the guy fighters got married in the cage.
What?
Okay? Yeah. So, these two people get married. And the announcer, marries them, kiss the bride, boom. And then they're like the first and second fight. And they fight these scrubs, and like knock them out. And yay, send them off on their honeymoon. They're gone. Okay. So that's 10% of the card. And then the third fight comes out there. It's a Muay Thai fight. And there was like this one guy, kind of like, Pillsbury Doughboy kind of build, not the most athletic, plays volleyball on the weekends kind of build. And he goes out there and he's fighting like this really kid of a green mohawk, talented kid, undefeated. And then they walk into the cage and he says, no, I don't want to fight. And he walks out of the cage. And he just leaves. And then this one guy in the crowd, like in his cargo shorts and a polo, he stands up. I'll fight him. And they bring him back there. This guy walks backstage. Okay. And he's like, yo, give me your shorts. So he switches clothes with the guy who just backed out of his fight. They gives him his gross mouthpiece. And it's disgusting. Okay. But here's the best part. Guy from the crowd, the hero, Paul Blart look himself, walks out there, lands a haymaker the first 5 seconds, wobbles Mohawk Kid. Mohawk Kid's stumbling. And then he almost gets knocked out. Then he gets lucky, knocks the crowd guy out. And, he survives. And then he wins, like the crowd guy loses, but then he comes backstage to get like sewed up. And everyone's like, you're a hero, like giving him props. So like, we really just sent this normal dude to get whooped in front of like his family. They're all watching the fights. Okay,
Oh my god!
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a fight that an athletic commission would approve.
Yeah, the reses have different laws.
Yeah,
so then,
I guess they play by their own rules a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for my guy. 5 fights, 10 fights, 15 fights. My guy's not there. I'm just waiting. And then all of a sudden, this like chiseled guy with sponsors on his short walks backstage, and I'm like, doesn't speak a lick of English. Everyone's like, who are you fighting? He's like, can't speak it. He doesn't know. So I'm fighting number 18. And I'm like, I'm fighting number 18. I'm not fighting that guy. Like, that's not my guy. Then eventually we get there, and then my guy finally walks in the last like 10 minutes, warms up. And I was like, ooh, I need to get my phone charger. No! Oh, can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I still hear you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
I am technologically stupid. Let me get my charger.
Oh, yeah, you're talking to the king of technologically stupid. Don't you worry. No worries there.
Okay, so my guy finally makes it here. Hey, babe, sorry. Didn't mean to barge in. Let me just walk out of here. So my guy walks in, and he walks up to my coach. It happens to be my coach. He's like, who's Jordan Leavitt? I'm gonna whoop his butt. And my coach says, and I'm wearing like some stupid flamboyant onesie pajama thing, And he's like, you see that? See that colorful fella in the onesie? That's your guy. And I start having some crisis, like, oh no, this is all so crazy. I'm a bad person. I shouldn't be fighting on this scene. And I'm like, let's go home. I don't want to fight anymore. And my agent's like, Jordan, you're not a bad guy. It's a means to an end. And I'm like, what if I hurt this person? And he's like, beat him without hurting him. And I'm like, you're right. I can do that. I can beat him without hurting him. So then I go out there, I shoot for the Minari roll, and I get it in 17 seconds. But it was like the wildest night of my life. It was
That
crazy.
sounds insane. And what
The wedding is unlike anything I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's bananas. I'm picturing like you couldn't script that in like a movie. I feel like that if that were to happen like on a television show, you would be like, "Come on, this is bullshit."
Well, no, I could see like in a wild world a couple getting married in an octagon, but to get married and then be the first 2 fights on the card is fucking
Yeah.
banana lands.
Yeah, like pulling random dudes out of the crowd, like fucking Rudy. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Oh my goodness.
That's absolutely
That's awesome, though.
insane.
I feel like there's some wild shit that happens on these regional circuits, man.
It's crazy.
But I guess, you know what? In the end, it's like your agent said. It is a means to an end. You know what I mean? It's all about getting here where you are now.
It all worked out.
Exactly. So do you have a date for the debut yet?
No. I basically told my agent, like, we're either fighting in September or we're going to give me 4 or 5 months to like, do weights for the first time, put on some muscle. Maybe something will drop off the next, few weeks. But if not, you probably will see me February or March, hopefully. So
love it.
Awesome.
We keep seeing a lot of quick turnarounds in the UFC right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people.
It feels like they've been a little strapped for fighters. I think, we've talked about this with some other guys, but it feels like, we know this year's been good to you, everything else aside, but it feels like, the pandemic and everything going on right now, maybe one of the only groups of athletes that it's been good for has been kind of fringe UFC fighters who are like, kind of like you, who are fighting in LFA, who are on, high level pros regional circuit, but maybe not there yet. And then, you get the call for the Contender Series or to hop in and fill in on one of these short cards that they're putting together right now. And that's all it takes,
Yeah, like, maybe, like, my dream, is to, like, get a last-minute call, like, 8 hours before weigh-ins. We know it's 170, but can you take it? Help us out, Jordan. I'm like, yeah, I got it. Hop in the sauna, I fight some big guy, and then don't get knocked out the next day and win a fight. That'd be like a dream, to have the UFC owe you a favor for taking a chance. I'm all for your last minute fights, fighting.
Absolutely.
Like when we build our fight career, like it's kind of like you're building your own story and people are trying to watch it. And I'm just trying to build that story. I'm trying to make my career look more interesting. And I'm all for last minute stuff. So you guys shouldn't be surprised if I hop on something last minute. I'm still in the gym every day. I'm still training super hard, and I'm still, fingers crossed, hoping for some last minute opportunities.
Hey, love to hear that. Well, Dana and Sean
Shelby,
if you're listening, the man's ready.
We will do everything in our power to get it into Dana White's mind that you're ready to go.
We're noted shills. Nobody can call us hacks if we just admit that we're hacks. You know what I mean? So you're a friend of the program now, so we'll never say a bad word. We'll fight tooth and nail to get you a fight. Do whatever promo we can. We help our pals around these parts.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
are you? I mean, before we wrap it up, I'm just curious. Are you into any other sports, or is it more running, reading, fighting?
Yeah, running, reading, fighting. I like RPGs. Like I'm playing Mass Effect for like the 9th time through. I love RPGs, Fable, Mass Effect. Reading, running. That's all I do.
Nice. Hey,
I feel
love it.
I loved Skyrim back in the day.
Skyrim's great.
Awesome. I need a new Elder Scrolls game. The online one sucked.
It did suck. The rollout was horrible. But yeah, I'm excited for the next Elder Scrolls. I'll be buying that for sure. I'll complain about the online thing, but I'm instantly, midnight. I'm gonna be buying that. The next Elder Scrolls.
For sure. Well, hey, hopefully we can get you in UFC 4. You been playing any of that?
No, not yet. I should use my flight money to get that. That would be fun.
It's a fun game, and they fixed the grappling, so it's not like you get put in a submission and there's nothing you can do about it. Now you can get out of that shit and slam them.
Does it still reset whenever you get tapped so people can't like spam clinch you and just throw a little knees to the thigh and hold you there?
They like the clinch is totally like reworked. The grappling's a lot better. I think they did a pretty good job.
Okay, that's
pretty good job. And I'm not one to really say good things about EA Sports. They don't like me very much. I went on a whole campaign against them.
Oh,
I don't like them one bit. But I'll give them props where it's due. I like UFC 4. I'll be playing plenty of it. If you're on PS4, you ever want to play sometime, just give me a buzz.
okay.
Absolutely. But all right. I think we've hit on just about everything we have here. Jordan, you got anything that you want to plug? Anything we didn't get to? You want to make sure we do?
No, I can't think of anything. I'm just really thankful for you guys to reach out to me. It's been fun.
We
Hey,
appreciate you coming
absolutely.
on
Love to
more
hear
than you
that.
know, man. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
no, and definitely we appreciate it, man. And hopefully, I'm sure after that UFC debut, you'll be getting a lot more calls.
Yeah, but you guys better call me first so I can come on again.
we will
Hey,
be
appreciate
we'll
that.
we'll be bugging you. Don't you worry.
Okay.
But most importantly, keep your head on straight. Keep going. Keep pushing forward, and great things are going to come for you. I think we all feel it.
Thank you. I hope so.
Absolutely, man. Well,
And good
thank
luck
you
with
so much for your
good luck
time.
with the baby coming up.
Thank you. I'll add fatherhood to one of my new hobbies.
yeah, you might have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Might have to go down to $60 a year for 1 year.
There you go. All right, man. Well, best of luck. Be good.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Have a good one, man.
All right. Before we kick it back over to to me and Ross, I just want to give a little shout out to our friends at PointsBet. If you're in Indiana, New Jersey, or Iowa, PointsBet is the only place to bet because it's simply the best. And if you go to pointsbet.com and use promo code BACH, that's BACH, BACH, you can get a tiered deposit bonus up to $250. That's right. Deposit $50, bet with $150, and a $25 free play for your troubles. So what are you waiting for? Go to pointsbet.com and use promo code BACH now for the best online sportsbook experience you've ever had. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 plus. Offer only valid in New Jersey and Iowa. Please bet responsibly. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Knew I was missing something.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you throw that part in.
Yeah, big need that. But thank you to our friends at PointsBet as always. Make sure you go on over there. It's the best place to bet MMA, best place to bet UFC.
And also, let's say thanks once again to Jordan Leavitt for an awesome interview.
Big facts.
Just
thank you to the Monkey King.
Someone to look out for. I mean,
he's an interesting cat. You don't hear a lot of fighters who have the personality traits that guy has. I only read 70 books last year. Shut up, dude. Come on. You're making me feel like such a dummy.
I don't think I've read anywhere near 70 books in my career of living. But no, it was awesome to talk to him, especially someone that's just like he's just getting to the surface, just scratching it, and he's about to just take off.
Yeah, I know. If his 7-0 pro career is a start at the age of 25
young as shit.
Is any indication, then he should be a fucking problem.
So I hope everyone enjoyed that. Another just person that we talked to that I can't believe we really got to talk to, but we did. And another interview that
the boys stay hot.
It's an honor to be able to get to do this shit. It's awesome. So I hope everyone enjoys it as much as we're
professional fighters somehow keep deciding to talk to us. So as long as that keeps happening, we'll keep doing it. I assure you. Hopefully we'll have Ray Longo coming up soon. That'll be fucking awesome. One of the OGs, a legend of the game. Fucking
if that actually happens, which it seems like it very well might. I don't know what's going on.
We're buddies now. I have his phone number. He texted me back. Ray texted me back. I was shocked because he didn't give me a fake phone number. The joke's not all on me for once, maybe.
But no, I mean, we have an awesome fight card coming up next weekend.
Oh yeah,
absolute fucking bangers.
I think people are sleeping on Lionheart a little bit.
I think
Anthony Smith is getting slept on a little bit, but we'll get into that later in the week.
Yeah, we're gonna throw a pot out this week. Hopefully, we'll have a special guest. We don't want to say it now because we're not really sure yet, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna release a podcast on Wednesday, giving out some picks. We're due for some winners.
There you do.
And honestly, just we need you guys, if you're liking this, to subscribe and review this shit or whatever you need to do.
Yes,
'Cause
we
it-
feel like losers asking, but can you subscribe and rate
We
and
need
review
it.
my
We
podcast?
need it so we can grow this thing.
But yeah, no, it is tremendously helpful to us. If you enjoy what we're doing, you enjoy the content, make sure you give us both a follow on Twitter at Harry__Mac, at Ross_Bullet, at Bookie's Basement. You can check out all of our stuff on bookiesbasement.com, thebookiesbasement.com. I always fuck that up somehow. Yeah, it's what a world we're living in, man. What a
Yeah,
world we're living in.
this is just so much fun.
It's
it feels
crazy,
like it feels like we're on a roller coaster ride, and so far we're still going. We're still going up.
Yeah, thank you guys for all the love. But yeah,
Seriously, and everyone that's tuning in, it's helping more than you know. The more we can share this, the more people we get to listen to this, the quicker we can be at the apex with Octagon Bob. So let's just keep going at it. Let's keep having fun. Let's keep watching violence.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can start giving out some more winners for the people. It's been a little bit rough for us, but
a little bit, but we're getting there.
We'll
like
figure
Ross
that
said,
out.
Like Ross said, make sure you rate, you subscribe, you review the Reverse Mush podcast here on Apple. Make sure you give us a follow on our socials that I plugged, and yeah, we appreciate it.
And tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Tell your fucking friends. All right. Have a good week, everybody. Be good.